Here we go. Grammatical explanation going on. Have a look at this. Are you with me, guys?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Stepping into the taxi, I told the driver, blah, 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 blah. All right, this is this one here. Stepping. ING. Be careful, because today we don't call them gerunds. We call all of them, we call them participles. Yeah? And this one is what we call a present participle. Stepping into the taxi, I told the driver to take me to the airport, for example. Sentence number 2. Having stepped into the taxi, I could relax. I was already on my way. We call this one here, what is the participle here? Having stepped. This is the participle, having stepped. And we call this one perfect participle. Perfect participle. Third sentence. Having been told where to go, the driver took me where I told him, for instance. Yeah? What is the participle here?
Having been told.
Having been told. We can call this one here also perfect participle. Okay? This is also a perfect. It's perfect because it has the auxiliary have. Yeah? Perfect participle. And then one more sentence. Driven away, I zoned out. I zoned out. Do you know the meaning of to zone out?
Yeah.
What is it to zone out? Everybody look at Sarah. She's going to do it for us. Sarah, zone out. She's zoning out.
Yeah.
Yeah? When your mind goes somewhere else? Zone out. I shouldn't zone out. I'm working at the moment. Yeah? Zone out. Okay. Past participle here? Driven, yeah? Driven. Here. This is the participle. In this case, we call it past. Be careful here. Past participle. So these are the 4 types of participles we're dealing with. Present participle. Perfect participle. Perfect participle.
Present perfect.
Past participle. These are the names. Okay? Now tell me, which ones are active, which ones are passive? This one. Stepping into the taxi, I told the taxi driver. Active or passive? Active. Having stepped into the taxi, I could relax. Active or passive?
Active.
Active. Very good. Having been told where to go, the driver took me to the airport.
Passive. Passive.
Passive, very good. He was told, yeah? He was told. However, we don't see the verb. Oh, yeah. Here it is, the verb to be. Driven away, I zoned out. Active or passive?
Passive.
Yeah, I was driven away. So this is passive. So these are the categories, yeah, we're dealing with. They're all participle, participle, participle. Some of them are present. Some of them are perfect. Some of them are past. Some of them are active. Some of them are passive. So far, so good? How do we make negatives? Give it to me in the negative way. Stepping into the taxi, I told the driver. Negative.
Not stepping.
Very good. No stepping. This is how we make the negative. No auxiliary verb. No auxiliary verb necessary. Negative.
Not
Having
having.
not.
Not having stepped. Not having stepped into the taxi, blah, blah, blah. Negative. Not having been told. Negative. Not driven away. So how do we make the negatives with the participles? Well, only with not. We don't need any auxiliary verbs. Okay, what else can we say? Is it reversible? Can I change the order? As you can see here, there are 2 clauses. Clause number 1, clause. Clause number 1. This is a sentence. And a sentence is composed of clauses. Clause number 1 and clause number 2. Clause number 1, comma, clause number 2. Clause number 1, comma, clause number 2. Clause number 1, comma, clause number 2. Can I change the order? Are the participle clauses reversible, or are they always in the first position?
Reversible.
They are reversible, however, normally they come in the first position. Normally. But sometimes you might find them reversed. So you could say, I could relax having stepped into the taxi. It's less common, okay? It's less common and a little bit forced. I zoned out, driven away. It sounds a bit forced. It's more natural like this, yeah? Participle clause, comma, and then the second clause. What else? Okay, next. So far so good, guys? Let's see. Excellent. I'm going to give you 2 sentences. One of them is right, one of them is wrong. Having stepped into the taxi, the driver took me away. Having stepped into the taxi, comma, the driver took me away. And sentence number 2, having stepped into the taxi, I told the driver where to go. I told the driver where to go. They look fine, both of them look fine, right? However, one of them is wrong. Let us identify the participle clauses, yeah? The participle clauses are the first one, yeah? And this is the participle. Having stepped, perfect participle, yeah? One sentence is wrong. One sentence is right. Follow your instincts.
The second
The
one
second one is wrong.
No, it's correct. And the first one is wrong.
Really? Do you agree with Pedro? Yes, well?
Yes.
Explain why. Is it just your instinct, or is there some sort of explanation there?
The subject have to be the same. So in the second sentence, I stepped into the taxi, I told, but in the first one, the driver is different subject from I.
1 point for Pedro. Is the subject. It's obligatory for the subject to coincide. I repeat, the subject of the participle clause needs to be the same as in the main clause. If it's not the same, it's wrong. So here, having stepped into the taxi, who? Me. The driver took me away. Is that me? No, that is the driver. So is this and this subject the same? No, they are different people. Having stepped into the taxi, who? Me. I told the driver where to go. Who? Me. Is it the same? The subject of the participle clause and the subject of the main clause, is it the same person? Yes. So the person needs to be the same. I repeat, the subject of the participle clause needs to be the same as in the main clause. Otherwise, it's wrong. So far, so good? Do you understand?
Yeah.
Excellent. Okay, next. I have quite a lot of stuff for you today. Okay, now let's talk about time now. We're going to talk about time and participle clauses. Have a look at this sentence. Traveling in the cab, I heard the news. Traveling in the cab, I heard the news. We're talking about time here, yeah? Participle, what is the participle here? Traveling, yeah? Is that a present, past, perfect participle? Present participle, yeah? Traveling in the cab, I heard the news. Okay, is the subject the same? Traveling in the cab. Who was traveling? Me. I heard the news. Who? Me. So is the sentence is correct. Yeah. What type of time are we expressing here? Traveling in the cab? I heard the news. What type of time is that one?
Past.
Okay. Yes, it is. Is the time in the participle clause the same time as the main clause? Is it different timing or same timing? In other words, are the actions in the main clause and in the participle clause happening at the same time or at different times? At the same time. So this is
was traveling.
yeah. While you could say while I was, that is the part that we crossed out for consignment. While I was traveling in the car, I heard the news. So you can use participle clauses to express two actions happening at the same time. I repeat, you can use participle clauses to express two actions happening at the same time. Actions in the participle clause and actions in the main clause happening at the same time. Okay, we continue talking about time. Have a look at this. Picking up his stuff, he left the office. Picking up the stuff or picking up his stuff. I would say his. Sounds better. Yeah. Picking up his stuff. He left the office. Picking up his stuff. He was fired. Yeah. Again, participle clause is the first one as usual. Picking up. This is the participle. Yeah. Picking up. Present participle. Time. What's going on? The actions in the participle clause and the actions in the main clause, are they happening at the same time?
Yeah, but
Exactly at the same time?
no. One of them is continuous and the other one is present, just present. Yes, yes.
Almost
Past
there.
continuous, past.
Almost there, but not exactly. That would be the combination of past continuous and past simple, but this is slightly different.
The second starts once the first is finished.
Very good. So would you say that the actions are happening close together in time or very separate in time?
Very close.
Close together in time. So this one happened right after. Right after, that is the key. This action happened right after this one. So you can use present participles or participle clauses to express two actions happening close together in time. I repeat, to express two actions close together in time, but not exactly at the same time. Close together in time. Close together in time. I'll look at this one. I'm giving you a negative now, not having answered the phone. Not having answered the phone, he continued doing the dishes. Not having answered the phone, he continued doing the dishes. Here we can detect not having answered. This is the participle, yeah? What type of participle is this one? Present or perfect participle?
I'm sorry.
Perfect. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, this is a perfect. Yeah. Perfect participle. Anyway, talking about time. Some action going on here and some action going on in the second clause. What is the time relationship? Are they happening at the same time? Are they happening very close together in time? Quite close. What are we expressing here? Not having answered the phone, he continued the dishes. What are we expressing here? What action finished before?
Not answering.
Not answering the phone.
Exactly. So we can express here with the present participle that one action has finished before the other one. I repeat, we express that one action has finished before the other one. All right? The firefighters. We're expressing here with the perfect participle that one action has finished before another one.
It could be either the main clause or the participle clause.
Normally, here we're expressing with the participle clause, yeah, and this is the main clause. Normally, it's the participle clause that finished earlier. Why? Because it's perfect. With the perfect, yeah, the perfect sense, yeah, it finished before the other one. Okay, another sentence. Now we're going to talk about cause. Cause. And I'll give you a sentence. Not having studied it for the exam, she was likely to fail. Okay. Not having studied for the exam, she was likely to fail. I'm going to give you two this time. Not knowing anybody, I didn't want to go to the party. Not knowing anybody, I didn't want to go to the party. Not knowing anybody, I didn't want to go to the party. This is clause. What is the main clause here? Let's have a look at this sentence first. What is the main clause? I didn't want to go is the main clause. And this clause, we call it, you can call it clause 1, but we can call it participle clause. Okay, not knowing anybody, I didn't want to go. So we're explaining the result of an action or situation in the main clause. So I didn't want to go. Yeah, I didn't want to go. Not knowing anybody. So what are we expressing here? We're expressing here the reason for the event in the main clause. So this is the main clause. And what is the reason? I didn't want to go. What is the reason?
Because you
Not knowing anybody. So we're expressing the reason. I repeat, with the participle clause, we express the reason for the main clause. The same here. What is the main clause? She was likely to fail. And what is the reason?
because she didn't study.
Not having studied. So with the participle clause, we are expressing the reason for the main clause to happen. Do you get it? Yeah? Expressing the reason in the participle clause for the main clause to happen. Okay, another sentence. So far so good. Are you okay, guys? Hot? No? Fine, you're okay? Let me continue. 50% already done. Okay. The riots spread over the city. The riots spread over the city, comma, causing a lot of damage. The riots spread over the city, comma, causing a lot of damage. Which one is the participle clause? The first one or the second one? Be careful, as I said before, sometimes the participle clause can be in the second position. Yeah? This is the participle clause. Causing a lot of damage. Here we have the participle. In this case, present participle. Okay, the riots spread over the city, causing a lot of damage. Here, what we are expressing now, guys, is result. Okay, so normally when we put it in the second position, it is expressing the result. In other words, to explain the result of an action in the main clause. So this is the main clause. This is the main clause, and the participle clause is the result. Yeah? This is the main clause, and the result of the main clause is this, causing a lot of damage. Okay, and something more. Something more. We can introduce here some special words. What word can you think of that can be introduced just here after the comma? How do you like this one? Thus, causing a lot of damage. This thus, beautiful word, yeah? It can be introduced, this is optional, okay? Optionally, normally, you can have this, thus causing a lot of damage. A synonym for thus, another one? Only one more option, this is difficult. I'll teach it. Thereby, this is very formal. Thereby causing a lot of damage. So, you have the participle clause in the second place, and it is the result of the main clause. And you can use these words if you want to. Thus or thereby, optionally. Thereby causing a lot of damage. Yeah? Thereby causing a lot of damage. Thus, thereby. Expressing results. So far so good? Good. 75% done, only 25% left. We can do it, guys. Okay, let's talk about after conjunctions. Conjunctions. Do you know conjunctions? Can you tell me some conjunctions? I'll tell you some. This is a conjunction. If, another one. Unless, when, while, after, once, although, before. Okay, these are some examples of conjunctions. I'm saving so much ink now using this board. If, unless, when, while, blue ink in this case. Now I'll give you a participle clause in a main clause. Disturbed. Disturbed, comma, this dog may bite you. Disturbed, this dog may bite you. Okay, this is a participle, yeah, as we already know, participle. And what am I trying to teach here? That a participle clause, this is the participle clause, yeah? Participle clause. A participle clause can go together with conjunctions. In this case, which conjunctions can go with it? If, does it work?
Yes.
If disturbed, this dog may bite you. Yeah, for example, if. Unless disturbed, no.
After,
After disturbed, after being disturbed, yeah.
once,
Yeah, once works. Once disturbed, this dog may bite you. Another one? I would say this one. When disturbed, yeah? When disturbed, this dog may bite you. I can also say while being disturbed, yeah? While
Or
disturbed,
Or after being disturbed.
yeah, after being disturbed. So not all of them go well with this clause, with this participle clause. Some of them go, some of them don't. But what I want you to know is that conjunctions can go together with a participle clause. Remember that. I repeat, conjunctions may go together, can go together with a participle clause. All right. Now look at this now. Disturbed, the same sentence, yeah? Disturbed, this dog may bite you. This dog may my dear. Another one, given the chance, I would love to travel to the USA. Given the chance, comma, I would love to travel. I would love to travel to the USA. Okay, again, the same thing over and over again. Disturbed, that is the participle. Given, that is the participle. What conjunction can go here, beautifully go here, from the list I gave you before? If. If disturbed, this dog may bite you. If given the chance, this dog may bite you. If. So what I'm trying to tell you is that if beautifully goes with participle clauses many times. It beautifully adapts with participle clauses many times. But you don't need it. It's optional. Yeah? It beautifully goes with them, but you don't need it. It is optional. Yeah? Absolutely optional. If beautifully goes, but it is optional. And finally, 10% left for the grammatical explanation. Relative clauses. Let's talk about relative clauses. You know that relative clauses is something that you studied in the years before, yeah? B1, B2, C1, relative clauses. Do you remember relative clauses? What do you need? A relative pronoun. For example, who, where, yeah? Who, where, which, yeah, which. Who, where, which, yeah? Relative clauses. This is relative clauses. You already know about them. But what I'm going to teach you today is that relative clauses can be reduced. And how can we reduce relative clauses? Thanks to participles. So you're going to help me reduce now. So relative clauses containing participles can be shortened, can be reduced. We can reduce relative clauses with participles. Have a look at this relative clause. The woman who was sitting next to me. I know, you know why it is so noisy right now? Because it is the end of the class for A1 level students. A1 lessons are only 1 hour and a half. So that's why we have a lot of noise. It's basic level students. We should adapt. The woman who was sitting next to me. The woman who was sitting next to me had never done it before. For example, how can we reduce this sentence? Okay, think about it. I'm going to write the next one. The people who work in the shop are my colleagues. I'm going to write 4 sentences. Who work in the shop are my colleagues. Third sentence, the languages that are spoken in the languages that are spoken in the languages that are spoken in the EU are official. And finally, the 4th sentence, the route that I had chosen was the shortest. The route that I had chosen was the shortest. Okay, so these are relative pronouns. What is the relative pronoun in the first one? Who. In the second one? Who. In the third one? That. In the fourth one? That. Relative pronoun, relative pronoun, relative pronoun, relative pronoun. These are full relative clauses. And now I want to reduce them. Can I reduce them? Yes, I can. Why? because I have a participle. Here, sorry. This is also a participle. This is also a participle. And this is also a participle. Now, help me reduce the sentences. The woman who was sitting next to me.
The woman sitting next to me.
The woman sitting next to me. Very good, Victor. So we remove who was. And now, this is our reduced relative clause. Number two, the people who, oops. That sentence is correct, yeah? The people who work without ing, yeah? The people who work in the shop are my
Yeah,
colleagues.
But you need the ing.
You need it when you reduce it. So, give it to us, Sarah.
The people working in
In the
okay,
shop
yeah.
are my
Working in the
colleagues.
shop.
So, we remove who work. And we just need working. The people working. And now we have a reduced relative clause. Number four, the languages that are spoken in the European Union are official.
The languages are the language is spoken in the
So we remove
That are.
that are. That are can be removed. We just say the language is spoken, and this is a reduced relative clause. The route that I have chosen was the shortest.
The word chosen.
The route chosen. So I remove
That
That I
I
have.
have.
that I had. And now this is a reduced relative clause. So remember, relative clauses containing participles can be reduced.
But in the second sentence, it's not working in.
Working.
Yes, yes it is. Sorry. Ah, yeah, that was the preposition.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's why you
It was not ing.
You say working.
Work in. Yes, point for Maria. Yeah, paying a lot of attention. Yeah, she's paying so much attention. I cannot commit the slightest mistake. Yeah, she will find out. Just joking, just joking. So far so good, guys? 5% left. The very last bit of the explanation. Have a look at this. I love to feel the air stroking my skin. I love to feel the air stroking. Stroking? Acariciando.
Stroking.
Stroking.
sounds more like, I don't know. Like-
Striking would be different, yeah? Strike. But stroke, yeah? Stroke.
Choke.
I love to feel the air stroking my skin.
Smells like choke.
I love to feel the sun. I love to feel the sun shining on my face. And one more. I heard the birds chirping in the distance. I feel it. I heard the birds chirping in the distance. Chirping? Little sing, yeah? Singing, but not quite singing. Little noises from the birds. I heard the birds chirping in the distance. Okay. Participles. Stroking. Participle. Shining. Participle. Chirping. Chirping. Or in American, chirping. Yes. Chirping. Chirping. Chirping in the distance. Okay. After verbs of the senses, to see, to hear, to feel, we can use present participles to describe continuous actions. So have a look at this. Feel. So we have verbs of the senses. Verbs of the senses. What are the verbs of the senses? Smell,
Touch.
see, feel,
That's it.
Here,
Taste.
Taste.
here, very good. Taste. So after verbs of the tenses, feel,
Getting confused.
hear, and any other, we can use a present participle to describe a continuous action. I repeat, after verbs of the senses, we can use a present participle to describe a continuous action. I feel the sun shining on my face. I feel the air stroking my skin. I hear the birds singing in the distance. And this is the end of the grammatical explanation. How long did it take, Sarah? Half an hour, yeah?